we start plating, first of all we got to lay out these walls. And we get chalk line now. We're going to use a chalk line, something like this, to snap lines on where we're going to run our wall plates. So first of all, and you know all of this, is that we'll snap this outside line, the long wall, and then we'll get this wall, which is a party wall, because this is a unit, this is a unit, and this is a unit. And we'll get this party wall parallel with this. In this case, it's 14 foot 10. So we'll mark over here to the outside and get that mark, and then we'll get all these interior walls off of these long walls. So the first, one of the things about the kind of framing that I know is that you do everything completely before you do anything else. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark the location of as many walls as we can, and then we'll snap the lines.
Yeah.
So, sound good?
Sounds good.
We're going to mark corners next. The way I do it is with a piece of 2x6. Again, you got a choice. You can pull out your tape and you can measure in and mark at 5.5 inches. Or you can leave your tape in your pocket, take a hunk of 2x6. These are 2x6 walls down through here. Lay it on the corner. And mark it for both outside walls. Then you'll do the same at the other corner.
This, yeah, I think this stops here.
I think it stops right there too.
That'll be that. So that gives the box, right? And then, do you like to?
That's it.
You like to snap these lines now and then pull on the interiors.
Right.
So let me see that super duper chalk line you have. Now, problem like with the standard.
Yeah.
Is, especially when it starts getting wet, the more you use it, the more it clogs up.
Yeah.
Does that have the same problem?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to drape it out and let it dry out. You know? Yeah.
Okay.
The same problem is going to get wet on it. But this has a chalk. The chalk that I use in this here on the Oregon coast is this. It's black vine chalk. And it's waterproof, scuff-proof, windproof. And it's a damn good chalk because you can lay it down and in wet weather, and the water basically isn't going to wash it away. I think it's got iron oxide in it that leaves a permanent mark on the floor. You can take when you're starting with to snap a line, you can pull your hammer out if you want, and you can drive a nail in where you're going to hook your chalk line to. And you can hook your chalk line right over that nail, and then you're good to go. But an easier way to do it is to leave your hammer in your nail belt, take an awl, you can hook your line over your awl, put it on your mark, hit it once, and then you're good to go. So we're going to snap this outside wall line first. So take our awl right on the line, take it in, and take off down to the other end. And you pull this line real tight and hold it right on the wall line.
Since it's such a long run, I'm going to hold the line in the middle and snap both ways. We're going to finish this up and we're all going to move over there. Yes. And that way it doesn't allow since it's such a long run, it doesn't allow the line to wander and give you, either double snap or somehow get off. It ensures you're going to have a straight line all the way through.
You snap all the way through just one snap. Frequently, you don't get a clear line. This way we got a good, strong, clear line.
If you can't find Larry's waterproof chalk, another way you could go if you need to protect your lines from the elements is this clear marking coat. And it's just a clear coat you can spray over the top of your lines after you've got them down, and it'll help make them last through the project so you don't lose them when you go to standard walls.
Well, here we go on line number 2. This is the outside wall. And this wall is parallel with that wall that we just snapped. And here we go, all the way down. Okay, Scott.
Some of these bolts are sticking up above, so you can either, you know, just something to pay attention to. You can either get a grinder, grind them off before you stand your walls, or you can take your plate, sort of put them on top, mark them, and then grind out something.
You can set your plate on and hit it with a sledgehammer
You
too.
can do that. This is something you're going to have to account for when you're...
Yeah. They're a little high like this one here. They cut some of them off already.
Yeah.
Like that one there.
Larry, do you worry about, like, here, I don't know if it's like this might be a little bit, I guess it's, but sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
you can get, going out's not so bad because you can just cut it, you know, if it's a little bit long, if the deck didn't get cut straight, you can cut it back and you're fine. Because, right, the plywood of the wall is going to overhang down and tie into your green plate. But what about if you get indentations? Do you worry about that at all?
Absolutely, yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
you got, yeah, it depends on your concrete work. Sometimes
Yeah.
concrete work can be pretty lousy. This one here is fairly straight. They did a good, looks like they did a good job on it. But you can have your concrete in and out, and your plate doesn't, you know, your wall's just not flush with the outside of the concrete. So then you'll have to make some adjustments.
so now that we've got our longest exterior wall snap, this can be what's called our control line. And from here, we can pull off all the parallel lines to this one, since it's our longest line, and make sure that everything's parallel to this wall. And this is straight, so everything else will be straight.
So I'm going to snap a few more lines here before we start plating. That's it on our outside lines for this part of the building. Well, the next thing we're going to do, off of this outside wall, we're going to come in 13 foot 8 inches from the outside to the center of this wall. We're going to snap this wall for this bathroom, the front wall, and this wall. This wall is a 2x6 because it has all the plumbing in it. When it's in a bathroom sometimes where you're running tile,
Yep.
or in a kitchen where you're running tile and cabinets and things, it's nice to have square walls. So it's good to check to see if your bathrooms and your kitchens are square. But a big living room, if it's a little bit out of square, nobody's ever going to see it.
Thank you, sir. 163.
This is the mark where the wall is going to fall, right there. And we mark this X, so when we come back to plate, we know it falls on this side of the line and not on this side of the line. And then the next one is
Then it was
7'5".
center to center.
Yes, it is.
Okay. 7'5". Can you put me on that mark?
So here's a trick. Usually the layout guy's working alone, so he doesn't have anybody to hold this into the tape. So what you can do, you can use this awl again. You can set it right on the mark, and then you can hook your tape right on that. Just like that.
We got 7'5".
There you go. And this wall here is the plumbing wall, so we mark that. It's going to be a 2x6. So we mark that on the deck. And it's a 2x6 wall. So when we come to plate, we'll know that. That wall's a 2x4, we don't mark that. And now I'll snap those lines.
The way Larry does it, he only marks out one side of each wall to save time, and it does. Because usually, if this is a 2x4 wall, I would snap both sides, and it takes more time to do. But if you do go through and just snap out the inside wall, as Larry's saying, it's a 2x6 wall, You just grab a piece of scrap.
Yeah, like this, you just grab a piece of scrap, hold it on that line, mark here, and then you know where to end this particular wall. Reduction framework would never ever snap 2 lines. It just takes too much time and you don't need it. If you needed it, it would be different, but you don't need it. 1 line's all you need. So to take the time to snap 2 lines, well, it's costing somebody money. Simple as that.